All right, now we're gonna have an awesome time today. I'm Dr. Lorenzo D. Smith, excited to be before you. Because we get an opportunity to talk about some relationship challenges that we have. If you notice in the background, we got some heavy inclement weather outside. We might be able to stay up with the power, might not, but we're gonna make it do what it needs to do. And we look at the title for today's show, which is accountability, the foundation of healthy, lasting relationship. Heart Not Podcast, where we simply just focus on being raw and real about life. The website, so you can be a part of this, is WVSW Radio, the Internet Station 23.wig.com. Again, WVSW Radio, the Internet Station 23.wig.com. You can join me as a guest by going to riverside.com. Then also the link, you can type in riverside.com/studio/WBSW dash radio dash internet. If you want to share your opinion, you can do that, riverside.com, or you can join me where you can tell your story, give me an example of how life is in regards to the relationship issue. Share that with me, some examples, as well as with the world. We will be broadcasting on Facebook, Vico Live, TikTok Live, and that's at Dr. L. Dialberto Smith, Facebook.com, Zeta Phi Sigma Greenville, Super Live, WVSW Internet Radio, Tango.com is WVSW-radio-1409, Twit at Dr. L. Dialberto 2017, Tick Live is Dr. Lorenzo Dialberto Smith, YouTube, we have two channels, that's the Smithway Enterprises, as well as Dr. Lorenzo Dialberto Smith. Subscribe with either one of those channels will be awesome. Our on-demand episodes are available for WVSW Radio on Alexis, Apple Podcasts, Edge, Google Plus, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Pod Paradise, Snitchers, Pandora, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts. We also want to allow you the opportunity to go check those shows out on the on-demand episode by going to Google, type in podservefm.com. Once it is up and running, you need to go to WVSW Radio, and you can get all of our on-demand episodes we have posted. Also, I want to share with you that WVSW Radio is the #1 internet station, and we're so glad to have that brand because that brand gives an opportunity for us to share with you where we've been and where we're going. Being the first internet station that included, now you have radio stations that use internet, use more of the social media site, but that's our basis. We are a social media internet station. We broadcast on each and every one of those individuals to make sure that you're able to move forward with it. I want to also share with you that you can register for WVSW Radio giveaways by sending your name. We do have means of transaction that one of our network don't want us because it seems like we'll be soliciting. We will not be soliciting. We want to give money away to you. So we want to make sure you understand that Zelle will be available for you to do that. Venmo will be available for you. And Bitcoin will be available for you to send that in when you register for our giveaways. We're giving to you. And we're going to send you some financially from $5 to $100. So we want to make sure we can give back. So make sure you're registered. You can send it to Lorenza D. Smith 15@gmail.com. And that's your name along with one of those means of transaction. As we move forward, we want to also share with you that you can sow a seed with us. And you can do that by just pressing the like button. Hit the like button. Let me know that you like, have an opportunity to check us out. We appreciate you taking time. I know your time is most important to you, but we're willing to give back. If you're interested in monetizing with us, that's showing your support. You can through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Big O Live, Podbean, Pod Paradise, Super Live, Tango, Twitter, and YouTube to make sure we are just that's what you want to do to support us. Just hit the like button. We're comfortable with the like button. Just keep that in mind. Our title again is Accountability, the Foundation of Healthy and Lasting Relationships. So we want to take an opportunity to talk about what is now identified as a relationship issue, which is accountability. I want everyone to just kind of think about, you're driving in a car and speed limit is 55. But however you see every car going, you're trying to keep up is 75. 75 to keep up, but you are pulled over. And when the officer asks for the normal data to check on and make sure you're registered and able driver, the first thing you come, they ask you, they always ask you, how fast you was driving. We always try to give them what we thought it was. But once they pick it up on the radar. But when you get ready to say, well, since you were driving 10 miles over the speed limit, I will have to give you a ticket. Then your first thing you would say is, well, the other cars are going 75. Accountability will say you have to focus on you, and they will normally correct you. And that said, well, I know a possibility they could have, but the probability that you were driving 75, so we'll give you a ticket. Now, that's the same way we're talking about our relationship. We ought to understand as we dive into one of the most important and most misunderstood pillar of a healthy relationship, which is accountability. Accountability is not punishment. It's not blame. It's not shame. Accountability is ownership, me taking ownership for my action. It's that courage to say, I played a part in this. I'm willing to grow from what I have done. See, when accountability is present, relationship thrive. When it's absent, relationship fractured. Slowly and suddenly. So it's important that we look at accountability. We want to explore accountability. And how we want to explore accountability, we're going to focus on several things today that gives us some clarity. We'll start off with looking at what accountability really means. What accountability really means. Why is it so hard for people to practice accountability? How to build accountability into communication, conflict, and commitment. How accountability transforms love, trust, and emotional safety. So let's start off, let's begin talking about what relationship accountability really means. Number one, accountability is ownership, taking responsibility for your actions, words, and impact. Even when your intentions were good, you still are responsible for your actions. You cannot blame someone else. If your relationship is failing, you must take accountability for where your relationship is. Don't blame the person that may be your mate or your partner for the failure of your relationship. Because a lot of times things happen, we easily say, well, it was because for infidelity. But you saw that coming. We all play a part in the reason things happen. So we have to make sure we're willing to be accountable for our action. See, it could be good, and one time that individual stepped out, or one time you stepped out. You have to be accountable for the failure of your relationship. Never always come when people ask you, how did your last relationship go? You're going to say it's the other person's fault. You have to take responsibility for a percentage of the failure. We always want to accept accountability when we're successful, but we never want to accept the accountability for failure. See, accountability is awareness. It is not saying, I'm sorry. It's asking, how can I make this right? Accountability is repair. We have to realize that accountability requires us to not just say we sorry or apologize. We just simply have to put the work in. That means repair. Accountability is consistency. It is not a one-time apology. It's a pattern of growth. You just can't apologize it away. You need to have clear understanding, taking ownership so you can have this pattern of growth and create a behavior for success. Accountability is partnership. And one of the biggest things we're having, especially in modern relationships, we're focusing more on partnership. And in the partnership, you're not ready to be accountable. We're more ready to blame others because it didn't work. See, healthy relationships are built by two people who both take responsibility for their contributions, good or bad. It ain't saying I'm going to take all the good and not accept the bad. I'm going to take the responsibility of the failure of the relationship, just like the success of the relationship. So you ask yourself why accountability is hard for many people to accept. Why is accountability hard for you, could be you, or someone you've been in a relationship to accept? One of the things, fear of being wrong. We have a lot of people who struggle with various kinds of fears. Fear of abandonment, fear of failure, fear of being alone, fear of being just being wrong about our words and our actions. Some people equate the fear of being wrong with being unworthy. That's why there's a fear. Ego and pride. Admitting fault feels like losing power. If it's all about who's going to be well in the power, so you're in a situation where you're keeping score. You're doing things just for the purpose of power. That is not a healthy relationship. Your ego and your pride don't allow you to blame others When you have pride, you don't blame others. You accept the responsibility. But you have an ego, you're an egotistic person, you're going to blame others. See, admitting fault feel like losing power, when in reality, it builds trust. One of the stools or the pillars of a foundation of a healthy relationship would be trust. Once trust is gone, that four-legged stool will be struggling to stand up on three. When honesty leaves because you're not ready to be accountable or responsible for your actions, that leaves you with two legs. And when you have two legs, that stool will not stand up. So we want a healthy relationship. We have to understand we don't need to blame others. And because you accept your responsibility, you're not losing power. Childhood conditions is another reason why people are not willing to accept accountability. See, if someone grew up in a home where mistakes were punished, they learn to hide them. Emotional immaturity. Some people never learn how to process guilt, shame, or conflict. Since they never learn their emotional immature, they begin to use sign language. Have you been in a relationship with someone constantly using sign language? And you said, sign language, what is that? It has nothing to do with a person using their ability to present communication through hand gestures and as a sign. I'm talking about the acronym, taking the word sign and breaking it down in acronym. The S is shame. The I is insult. The G is guilt. And the N is need to be right. Have you been in a relationship where things don't go to the person begin to try to shame you, insult you, want to make you guilty for even bringing it up because they truly need to be right. They lack the maturity emotionally. It feels easier to deflect, deny, or blame than to face discomfort. Face the ideal that I did wrong. So I'm not ready to be accountable. So I cannot venture into relationship because you know what happened? I'm not mature enough to be, and I'm not stable enough to be in a healthy relationship because I lack the ability to be responsible for my action. I lack the ability to be accountable for my action. So as you look at the 10 pillars of relationship accountability, 10 pillars of the relationship of relationship accountability. See, this is the heart of our talk. I want you to take a minute and really think about these pillars. We're going to explore 10 pillars, each with this thought process. And I'm going to share some things that I want you can write it down. If you just want to listen, I'm going to get it slow enough for you to use it. What it means. Relationship accountability. What it means. Why it matters. How it show up. How to practice it. Real life examples. Let's look at pillar 1. Thinking about those questions I just shared with you. Because this is the heart of it. First, we have honesty. What it means. Telling the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Why it matters. Trust cannot survive without honesty. How it show up. Omitting mistakes. Being transparent about feelings. Not hiding information. How to practice. Speak truth. With kindness. Not avoidance. The second practice or second pillar is self-awareness. What it means. Understanding your emotions, triggers, and patterns. Why it matters. Unregulated emotion leads to blame, defensiveness, and conflict. How to practice. Pause before reacting. Breathe. Use I feel statement. Pillar 4, apologizing correctly. My bad is not apology. Simply, the word means something. I apologize for misleading you. Why it matters to apologize correctly and what it means. First, what it means, a real apology includes acknowledgement, remorse, and change. Why it matters, apologies repair trust and rebuild connection. How to practice, avoid, I'm sorry you feel that way. Avoid that now. Say, I'm sorry for what I did. And here's how I'm going to do better. Pillar 5, consistency. What it means, your action match your words. Why it matters, consistency builds emotional safeties. How to practice, follow through, keep promise, and show up. Pillar 6, boundaries. What it means, respecting your mate's limits and communicating your own. Why it matters, boundaries prevent resentment and protect connection. How to practice, state needs clearly. Honor your mate's boundaries without defensiveness. Pillar 7, conflict responsibility. What it means, owning your part in disagreements. Why it matters, conflict is rarely 100% one person's fault. So the failure of the relationship is never 100% one person's fault. How to practice conflict responsibility, acts. What was my contribution to this moment? Pillar 8 is growth. mindset. What it means, seeing mistakes as opportunities to grow. Why it matters. Relationships evolve. People must evolve with them. How to do this? Be open to feedback. Be willing to change behaviors. So those pillars are really important. Yeah, as we talked about, there are more, but those 8 stood out. And I wanted to share each and every one of them with you. I am Dr. Lorenzo D. Smith, the host of Hard Knock Podcast. This is WBSW Radio, the #1 internet station. I'm so glad to be here to share this relationship issue, the topic where we're trying to focus on accountability. We want you to be willing to be accountable to your partner, your mate, so you can have a healthy and a lasting relationship. But you must know how to be accountable. And we're sharing the many thoughts about it today. You need to know how accountability transforms relationships. First of all, accountability builds trust, which transforms a relationship. See, trust grows where people take responsibility for their actions. Accountability transforms relationship because it deepens intimacy, vulnerability, and honesty create emotional closeness. It reduces conflict. Accountability turns argument into conversation. It increases respect. Mates admire each other more when accountability is present. It strengthens teamwork. Accountability creates a we mindset instead of me versus you. That's what accountability does for you and helps transform your relationship to a healthy relationship. There's a need to focus on strategies for building accountability. First of all, the pause and reflect method. The pause and reflect method. Before reacting, ask, what am I feeling and why? The impact over intent. Focus on your action, affecting your mate, not what you meant. The repair ritual. After conflict, acknowledge, apologize, adjust. Create a weekly checklist. Ask, how are we doing? What can we improve? Accountability agreement. Create shared commitments for communication. Conflict. and respect. As we get ready to close out here, I want you to keep in mind or to remember this. Accountability is not about perfection. And I want you to just think about that. Accountability is not about perfection because we're imperfect people who at times will do perfect things or will move toward perfection. But everything we do is not always perfect. Since we know it's not about perfection, then what is it about? Progress. Progress. Working consistently, putting it work in, continue to do it, putting the effort in. It's all about progress. It's about two people choosing honesty over ego, growth over comfort, and connection over defensiveness. I want you to let that soak in. You and your mate must choose honesty over ego. Not tit for tat, not keeping score, not one-upping you. You have to choose honesty over ego. Growth over comfort. We can get so comfortable that we don't want to grow anymore. But every day you wake up, take that first breath after you and woke up and put the feet on the floor. It's time to look toward growth because you don't know what the journey is going to be. You don't know whether it's a journey of growth, a journey of comfort. But you choose to grow because you continue to work and work and work. You don't get comfortable with what happened yesterday and try to promote it today. What you do is you continue to make changes. You continue to grow. You continue to be consistent. You continue to use effective communication. You continue to use growth over comfort. You as a couple should choose connection over defensiveness. If you're in a relationship and if you say something to your mate partner or the person in a relationship and they get defensive every time, you can't grow like that. You can't grow like that. I'm simply telling you that you are in the wrong place. The relationship will not be healthy. They must be willing to connect with you. And the final thing I want to leave with you, accountability is love in action. You may ask yourself, and you should ask, what is love to you? Love is what love does. Love is an action. It's not a word. It's not where I'm saying I'm going to God love all of us. He love all because he shows in his action when he wakes us up every morning, start us on a journey, protect us, provide for us. That's action. If you love someone, you must be willing to provide and protect. Have a vision. Prophesy. That's how you attain leadership. Having vision. Being able to prophesy. As we also just remember and should remember, maturity is in motion when you have accountability. You're growing. You're not comfortable. You're trying to do better. You're doing something different. And it's the foundation of every healthy, lasting relationship. So again, repeat that. Accountability is love in action. It's maturity in motion. It's the foundation of every healthy relationship. Man, let's become accountable for our actions. Be responsible so we can have a healthy relationship, long-lasting relationship. I want everybody to be safe and take care of you. You see, we're getting flickering because we do have a storm overhead, but we're going to make it do what it do. We're closing out right now. Let God do his work. It was good having you here. I'm going to give a shout out to each and every one of you all that's joining me. It's a blessing to have you here. See, God is so awesome. He's so awesome. Allow me to share this knowledge with you. Share where you can focus on accountability. You have to understand accountability, the foundation of healthy and lasting relationships. Hopefully what I share with you, you can pull something from it. If you don't remember that, but consistency. Choose consistency. Choose trust. Choose love. Have an awesome rest of the evening. And we're going to work our way through this storm. Be safe, be blessed. Check us out tomorrow. We're going to have an early show, which is early. We're going to go 12 noon. And we're going to talk about the Dr. Lowe's neighborhood, the real show that focuses on our neighborhood block by block. And we'll be on our series where we're talking about continuing to build boys to be impactful men. Be safe, be blessed. If you take care of yourself, we'll see you tomorrow. I just want to let you know I want to holler at you. I thank all the individuals who sent gifts and each one of them that signed on to the live stream. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for each one of the social media sites. But we're going to get out of here. I'm telling you, it's been a blast being here with you. So I want to let you know I love each and every one of you all from my heart. And I hope you feel the same way. If not, at least think about accountability and being responsible. So as we close it out, I want to say this to you. I love you. It ain't a thing you can do about it. We'll holler at you tomorrow. We're going to go noonish tomorrow on the Dr. Lowe's neighborhood. We'll see you